We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. Keep it locked on Cannabis Wiki. We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. The green room on Cannabis Wiki.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Green Room live from Sticky Nugs. Derek.
Yes.
How's it going?
I'm doing good.
Beautiful sunny
Beautiful
day.
day.
Yeah.
Always nice to be at Sticky Nugs.
Our favorite place to be. And today we have a really interesting guest. We have a friend of mine in the industry. I had met a little while ago in Calgary. She has a really inspiring, interesting story. And this is something we need to talk more about and is why I came to the cannabis space in the first place as a patient. So Sheriann Baker.
Hi.
Welcome to the Green Room.
Welcome, Sheriann.
Thank you for having me.
We're really excited to talk to you.
Excited
So
to be here.
you can tell us who you are and why you're in the cannabis space.
All right. So I'm Sheriann, and on, June 22nd, 2017, I had a grand mal seizure, and doctors told me I had a stroke. And 3 months later, I found out I had a brain tumor. So I knew, having a brain tumor, that I was going to have surgery and either chemo and radiation. And going in, I knew I was not going to do radiation and chemo. So I needed to find an alternative route to fight the cancer because...
Oh, you knew you weren't going to do chemo?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I know chemo and radiation just actually takes life, years from you. So when I was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer in 2017, I was told that I had 5 to 10 years to live at the most. So I figured if I only had 5 to 10 years to live at the most, I was not about to hide in my house for 1 to 2 years with no hair, with no eyebrows, looking, I'm going to admit it, looking scary and
not feeling well.
Not feeling well, tasting like tin in my mouth constantly. I got hundreds of friends around the world that I talk to on a daily basis that even tell me, whatever you do, don't do it. But I've read up enough on it. As soon as I found out I had terminal brain cancer, I started doing my research.
Okay, take us back for 1 second. Did you know there was something in your brain? Could you feel something? Did you know something? Was there something? Was there headaches all the time?
Yes, I have had migraines since I was 5 years old. Severe migraines.
Migraines, okay.
Severe. I would be vomiting. I'd be in the fetal position. There was points in my life where I would have them so bad that I would want to take my life. There would be no position that I would lay in. I would curl up in a ball. It was just so awful, the banging in my head. And I had at least 20 migraines a month. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. And it started when I was 6.
So they diagnose you with terminal brain cancer.
Yes.
How does that feel in that minute or that moment? How does that feel? So not that you're making plans for your hair to fall out or I'm going to die tomorrow or whatever. What does that feel like in that moment?
Well, you know what? It was really weird. I'm a very spiritual person. I have premonitions. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. And I believe, I just believe in angels and things. And so let's just say the day prior to me going to actually find out why I had a grand mal seizure for 8 minutes, I said to my husband, I just looked up to him and I said, I'm going to be diagnosed with cancer tomorrow, right? And he goes, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because he was going to work. He was driving 4 hours back to a different province to go to work for 4 days. So I was going to find out the next day I had terminal brain cancer by myself.
By yourself.
By myself. But I knew it. I did. I deep down inside knew that I didn't have a grand mal seizure for 8 minutes. Doctors could not figure out what was wrong with me for no reason. So
20
I knew.
migraines a month.
Yes. And I just knew it. I had gone to several doctors my entire life. They've given me every Tylenol, every migraine prescription. They actually gave me Botox up my neck and paralyzed me for 3 months. Still didn't work.
Wow.
And never once did one doctor ever in 50 years do an MRI on my brain.
Did you think that there might be something wrong and you were trying to avoid it, and then that was the catalyst, that 8 minute
8 minute
seizure?
What do you mean? I don't quite understand what you mean by that.
Did you think hey, although your doctor didn't recommend it, did you think, hey, there's something going on here? But instead of you preemptively telling your, like, because you could have told him,
Yes.
you know, hey, I do this, like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
But you're kind of like, you don't want the bad news.
Right. No, I wasn't actually, because I'm not afraid of dying. I knew I was going to get cancer because it's in my family.
So did you cry? Did you?
No,
weep? Did
are
break
you
down?
kidding me?
Really?
I had to console my
consoled the doctor?
my doctor. Like seriously, he's like, oh my God, and he's like, and then it was really weird. Like I said, I'm very spiritual, so we started talking, and it turns out that he did his, I don't know what it's called, is it the precedent or whatever, when they first come out of school and it's like, you know, when you're a police officer and they put you in a god awful little town that you don't want to work in, but he was put in my hometown of Red Lake where I was born. So when we started talking and I told him where I was born, he goes, Red Lake? You were born in Red Lake? I go, yeah. He goes, oh my God.
And he was too.
Yeah, he goes, I know.
That's where he did his internship.
Yes, he did his internship there for 10 years. So I think he thought there was like a connection. So then he goes, you know what? I'm going to call the hospital and I'm going to get you that MRI tomorrow. And he did. Like otherwise I had to wait like more months to find out. Like I had to wait 3 months to even see this doctor. Wow. So as soon as he found that out, he got on the phone to the Lethbridge Hospital. That's where I was living. And they booked me for the MRI the next day. And then he had the Friday off, but he said, you know what? I still want you to come in on the Friday because I think he pretty much knew I had a brain tumor. Like as soon as we just started talking, he said right away, you got a brain tumor. Like everything you're telling me. And then he did these little eye things and he kind of looked at my eyes and he goes, well, one eye is a little bigger than the other, maybe a stroke. But then he's like, no, definitely you got a brain tumor.
Did anyone mention cannabis at all in any conversations?
No, absolutely not.
Were you smoking cannabis anyways?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been smoking cannabis since I was like 11. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've always done it because I'm a very, I'm not going to say because I'm a Scorpio, but a little bit has to do with it. I get easily stressed easily. So I found cannabis ever since I was really, very young helped me. And even when I was a teenager and my mom knew, saying 13, 14, and I'd be stressed out, she'd say, go smoke a joint.
Go smoke a joint.
She knew it would like literally calm me down, right? So
why do Scorpios get stressed easily?
I don't know. I just don't know. My mom's a Scorpio too.
Why do Leos
I
get stressed
relate,
easily?
Unfortunately. So, but yeah.
Okay, so you've been diagnosed.
Yes.
You had your MRI. You're for sure. They say you have how long? 5.
Okay, so yeah, so what happened is, I went in on that Friday. Okay, so anyway, I went in and had the MRI done on the Thursday. So I told the doctor I'd go back on the Friday. I went in and I knew, he didn't have to tell me. I knew it was a brain. I didn't know brain tumor. I really didn't even know how that all worked. I just knew I had cancer in there somewhere. So anyway, I saw him and he showed me my MRI and my it's a size of a golf ball.
Wow.
That big in my brain.
In your head.
So what had happened is it was so big, it was pushing on my brain and it triggered the grand mal seizure.
Wow.
So to me, I look at it as a godsend because it was
Otherwise it would have kept getting bigger.
Yeah, or it would have just killed me. If I was by
killed you.
myself, when you have the grand mal seizure, you have to have somebody else around or you die. It's not just like a normal seizure. Like you die. And it was just really weird that I was actually in Cranbrook that day because I wasn't supposed to be there. So I had just at the last minute went, I'm going to go there and just see friends and do a little partying. So I would have been at home by myself. I probably would have died because I just had my animals and my husband was off working in BC. So yeah, so it was good that I actually had it. So when my doctor did tell me, no, I was prepared. Like mentally, I was prepared, and I always knew that I was going to die from cancer. So I think my brain mentally was prepared. So I had to. The worst part was actually phoning my husband at work and telling him, I'm like, are you like sitting down? And he's like, why? What's going on? And I'm like, well, I got the doctor
results.
thinks I have terminal, but the doctor at that point, we didn't know it was terminal, but the doctor thinks I have a brain tumor. And he's like, get the hell out. And I'm like, no, it's what he thinks. So he's like, I'm coming home. I'm like, what's the point? There's no sense in coming home because there's nothing you can do at this point.
Well, he wants to be close to you.
Well, yeah, but to me, it's just like, that's the type of person I am. I'm not a really...
But I know how that story ends. So Derek says, yeah, but he wanted to be close to you.
Well, exactly. And that's not going to fix it, right? But no.
What did I just dig myself into?
Derek's so nice.
I just didn't figure it would help. Like, I just felt like I kind of felt bad for him. I felt terrible to tell my son. I felt terrible to
you
tell
have children?
my mom. I have a 33-year-old son who's now a hardcore alcoholic because of me having brain cancer.
Oh, you can't hold that on you, though.
No, I don't. I don't. I give him shit. I tell him he needs to grow up and he needs to be stronger for me.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's the thing. I'm the one consoling everybody about like even my husband. I had brain surgery, and 2 weeks after we split up because he was totally not there for me.
He was just, you realized he wasn't there. Was this just gonna...
No, and I knew I had to, this was
2 weeks
me.
after you guys split up. Why?
Yes, because
How long were you with him?
10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he couldn't handle it. A lot of men can't. A lot of people either when people get cancer, either they run or you stick together like glue.
It's also
in my
super
case,
scary.
Well, I wasn't scared. I've always been a fighter, and I took this on like a challenge. Like I've always with everything in my life, and I wasn't scared. I was more excited to prove like, okay, so this is what happened. A year prior to me getting brain cancer, I had a friend, Chris. So I kind of thank Chris for this.
Was that a guy or girl?
It was a guy. And Chris had lung cancer. And I graduated with Chris in Cranbrook, BC, and he had lung cancer. Now, Chris discovered the Rick Simpson oil, okay? So when I got the terminal brain cancer, I went all the way back to BC because I knew about the Rick Simpson oil, so I wanted to find out more about the Rick Simpson oil. So I actually went to Chris's wife. She actually owns Earth-owned dispensary in Kimberley in BC now, and she helps educate other people
on Rick Simpson oil?
On Rick Simpson oil and all cannabis products.
Right.
And so I went and they started educating me on how the Rick Simpson oil works and everything. And so what happened is Chris did die. But when they did Chris's autopsy, they went in and Chris was cancer-free.
Wow.
Because he had started eating clean. No sugars, carbs, fats, flours, or red meats. You have to totally cut all of that crap out of your food. That food is what is killing us. That food is what is giving us cancer. You have to eat everything natural. Anything in a box or a can is going to kill you. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. You have to eat what's from the ground or just eat everything natural, right?
Oh my God,
so,
chocolate bars?
Chocolate
So
bars
what kind
are
of diet
bye-bye.
did you hear about Dr. Sebi before?
I think
Alkaline
I have.
diet?
Yes, but I just went totally clean. I juice. That's all I do. So once in a while, maybe once a month, I maybe have a piece of chicken or a fish, but I just smoothies every day. Every day. And I love
What kind of smoothies?
Yummy smoothies. I put almonds, blueberries, I put flaxseed oil, I put cannabis oil in it, Rick Simpson oil in it, obviously. Of course, ice. I put in some coconut oil, and it's just that. And I love it. I do about 5 or 6 loads a day. And when I changed my diet, I lost like 35 pounds, right away within like a month and a half. But you do that. But I felt amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. And things just started changing. Like I had like before that, my cholesterol was high, my blood pressure was high. I was like amazing. For a 50-year-old woman.
You detox. So the tumor phase forced you to detox.
You betcha. That's what I did. I got rid of all the crap that was in my body for all those
And
years.
in your life.
In my life. Absolutely. That's what I thought too. You know what? I'm going to start everything off new. I totally got rid of everything I owned. I went through all these photo albums. I'm like, why am I going to keep all this stuff? Who's want to go through all this stuff?
Did you buy a tiny house?
When
Absolutely.
you were diagnosed, how long until you had your surgery to remove that from your brain?
Well, had my bag packed the day. Okay,
Yeah, but hold on. We're jumping around here. First, she went to BC.
Yep.
Because she was going to get on the Rick Simpson oil.
Okay, yeah, so I did.
Was that before your surgery or after?
That was before.
Okay.
So I started doing my Rick Simpson oil.
How
As
much?
soon as I found out you were supposed to do a gram, I was doing
A day.
Every day I was doing 2 grams.
Okay, so 2 syringes.
I'm used to the THC, so I just gobbled up as much as I could.
And so now at this time, are you working or?
No, I was actually not working at that point. Thanks. So that was good. I was on EI.
Right.
So thankfully it happened.
Lucky.
Absolutely.
If you're on 2 grams of Rick Simpson a day,
Yes.
how does that
Right.
make you
I was
feel?
fine. I'm fine. I could still drive and I could still function absolutely fine with it. Absolutely fine. And I don't even just do that.
Sometimes they say like if there's pain and then you're taking it, then you don't feel the effects like as much as getting high because it goes to the pain.
I've heard that because it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Absolutely. Well,
it's working.
Could literally, we're going to kind of just jump around a little bit here because that's just how my brain works. But literally, when I was doing my Rick Simpson oil and after my brain surgery, and I've heard this from other people who do Rick Simpson oil and had brain surgery.
Then you got high.
You can feel your brain healing, crackling. Like there's a crackling noise and you can actually hear it and you can smell it. Like there's
What's
like,
it smell
trust
like?
me, there's like bizarre things that I discovered, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Being
but
brain
who
cancer.
smells it? You or
I
other people?
smelled it. I would always ask my husband.
But that could be because of your brain's healing and the sensors.
It was, and I still had that little bit in my brain. But once that smell was gone, it was gone, and I knew it was gone.
Right, because now maybe it's healed.
It was gone.
You know, it's active, it's
Yes,
kicking, it's
yes.
healing it,
Yeah.
and it's activating that sense of smell, which you're going to smell it because it's in your brain.
Exactly, because it's
then
right there.
Yeah, once it's done,
absolutely.
maybe then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, it's
You guys got me
healed.
scared. I smell weird things all the time, and then I ask everyone around me, and they're like, "I don't smell anything." I'm
Always
like,
get it checked out.
Hmm.
I always say that, if you got to lie and go and pretend you have the worst headache ever, go into an MRI or go to a hospital and say you need an MRI and not a CAT scan, because CAT scans, that's what I had in Cranbrook.
Well-
and they saw that I had a lesion, but that's why they kept saying, "Oh, we think you had a stroke."
Well, Jackie
We
likes
think
to
you had a
do
stroke."
Dutch ovens. I don't know if that's
I
what
meant
you
a hot
feel.
box, and I called it a Dutch oven.
Oh, no, I don't think that'll do it, but
Okay,
yeah.
what is Rick Simpson oil for people that are listening? If
Well,
they
it's-
don't know what Rick Simpson
Well,
oil
it's a
is.
cannabis oil, and it's got an alcohol, a 90 proof alcohol that's added to
Isopropylene.
it. Isopropylene, and it's hard to get, but you can get
You
it.
can make it yourself.
Yes, you can make it. And actually,
Don't
that's
blow
probably
up your kitchen.
Absolutely, don't do it in your kitchen. Do it outside.
Right.
But I absolutely agree. If you can learn to make it, it's probably the cheapest
the
way
best.
to do it. The best way to do
Yes.
it. You can get the most THC.
Why? How
out
much
of
would it cost a day for your medicine?
About $30 to $50 per day. And somebody like me who lives on my Canada pension and lives on $1,000.
How are you supposed to afford that?
You don't.
Right.
You don't. So I see
You gotta make it
people every
yourself.
day dying because they can't afford it. So I educate people on how to try and find people that'll help them, because that's how I live on it. For
Right.
4 years, the cannabis community across the world, not just in Canada, I've gotten Rick Simpson oil sent to me from Australia, from the States, from
Wow.
England, all over the world, because people know it works. And that's how
Wow.
much they support me, and it works. So what had happened is, so I started doing the 1 to 2 grams prior to surgery. So I knew the Rick Simpson, after finding out Chris, when they did the autopsy, they had found out that Chris was cancer free.
Right.
So as soon as I found that out, I said, absolutely, that's what I'm doing. Rick Simpson oil. Went home, cleaned out my fridge, got rid of anything that was bad for me. Sorry, husband. You're gonna eat clean
The
too.
negative energy, even.
Everything.
Oh,
I
wow.
I did everything. I just everything.
Right.
I was beginning a new life is how I looked at it. So then, I started eating clean. I got up to 2 grams of the Rick Simpson oil every day. The weight started falling off. And then, surgery was coming. So prior to surgery, I always tell anybody who does Rick Simpson oil, you do also need to tell your doctor, even though I know you're scared to talk to your doctor,
Right.
your doctor works for you. You
Right.
don't
So you
work for
have to-
your
you
doctor.
should tell
Absolutely.
them.
You have to. Because when you take Rick Simpson oil, your blood pressure drops considerably. Considerably. So you're always going to be cold, but it works. If you don't get cold or you don't get high, your Rick Simpson oil is bogus. It's not
Okay.
going to work. It's not going to work.
So you're gonna get cold.
That's why
and
it's
you're gonna be
better
hot.
if you make it yourself or you have someone
know what
trusted.
you got.
Right, because
Yes.
some of these people,
Lots of scammers.
they're not using the full plan, and
They're
there's all
using
kinds of stuff.
regular
Distillate.
alcohol. I've
Right.
seen and read all sorts of
I don't
stuff.
like that.
And I call them out. I am the
doesn't like
first
it.
one to call you.
Yeah.
And
Even Rick Simpson himself says it's better if you can make it yourself.
absolutely. And Rick Simpson's actually reached out to me. So I know actually Rick
Mm-hmm.
Simpson too. And he says his protocol is to do I think he says 60 to 90 grams. You can't.
Yes.
You can't. I
3
stopped.
ounces is what he said.
Yes, he said 3 ounces, but I did stop after I did eventually. That 3% was gone. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop back for 1 sec. So I tried prior to my surgery. I did the 2 grams. So I actually did 90 grams.
That's good.
Okay,
Well,
yes.
90. That's
Oh, I
3
gobbled it up,
That's 3 ounces.
Oh, I gobbled it up.
That's
like
what you're
there
How
was
supposed
no
to
long?
do.
You
tomorrow.
did 90 grams?
About 2.5 months.
As
Okay.
quick as
Yeah,
possible. You
as
got to
quick
do at
as
least
possible.
a gram a day.
Didn't care. Yes,
Wow.
yes. I didn't even need to smoke a joint by 7
There's
o'clock
a
because I was so
documentary
baked.
called "Running from the Cure."
Yes.
You watched that, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
have. Yeah, I've seen them all. And then there's the other one with the 4 children too.
Yeah.
It's also another really good one to watch. So I started doing that. And so 2 days prior to my surgery, I stopped taking my Rick Simpson oil, which I really hated doing. But you have to do that because the doctors could actually not even do your surgery because your blood pressure is too low and they don't want to kill you on the
Right.
table. So I stopped taking the Rick Simpson oil, and I had my doctors all knew, like they know I'm not doing chemo radiation. Absolutely not. I refuse to. So they knew that going in. So I said to them, okay, so when you go into my little brain that day, if you've noticed my tumor has shrunk considerably,
Right.
no surgery. So when I saw the scalpels come out, a little tear ran down my eye because I knew, damn. But I didn't know it had shrunk quite a bit.
Sure, and maybe it didn't
that
spread
point.
because of it.
Exactly.
That's a good thing.
Exactly.
Oh.
So I was really fortunate that I had Dr. Kelly, who's one of the best neurosurgeons in all of Canada, Dr. Kelly,
Okay.
in Calgary at Foothills Hospital. So it was such clean. They don't shave your head there, so nobody even knew I had brain surgery because my hair just fell right over that really nice, clean cut. So it took 6.5 hours to do my surgery.
Wow.
22 staples. And so they expected me to be in the hospital for about 2 or 3 days to use the recovery
Who's
time.
supporting you at this time? Because you got rid of the husband.
Well, no, he was still there
Oh,
for
he
2
was
more
still
weeks.
there.
Like I left 2 weeks after that surgery. I was smart. Okay. Yeah, my brain got even smarter. Let me tell you, the cannabis got me smart.
Okay.
So yeah,
See how it's working.
and I'm serious.
Yeah.
It was working. So and then so I woke up. I had my surgery. It was in the morning, and I guess it was probably about 3:00 in the afternoon. And I remember waking up, and it was funny because my hands were like glued like this, right, and like literally clenched. And my pictures like this, like I'm like, yeah, right,
Like you won.
like I was awake, like
Oh,
I'm
right.
alive still.
Energized.
Like I'm not worried about the Rick Simpson oil. I know that's gonna work. Really, I swear to God, I'm not at all worried about that at all. I was just, just wanted to wake up.
Well, yeah, under the.
I just really wanted to
wake up so I
anesthesia.
can continue my fight
Right.
and just show people
So,
that cannabis
you jumped out of
works.
bed.
Jumped out of bed, got the picture, and they're like, "Wow, you look really good." And I'm like, "I feel really good, right?" Like, I wanted to say, "I want to smoke a joint," but I knew it wasn't appropriate. But they're like, "Well, I ate and everything," and they're like, "Do you feel good enough to take a walk?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So they're walking me around, and they're like, everybody's like looking at me, all the nurses and doctors. They're going, I'm just looking at them, going, "It's the cannabis, it's the cannabis." Like serious, like that. I'm serious. I knew it was working. So yeah, they're like, "Oh my God, you feel that good? Do you want to go home today?" So it was 26 hours after my brain surgery.
That you went home?
I was out. They threw me out. My best friend and my son called me, and they're like, "We're on their way to come see you." I'm like, "Nope, coming back to the hotel." They're like,
Wow.
I'm like, "No, I'm serious. Coming back to the hotel." And I stay there, right?
Did they give you a ton of meds though?
No,
When they left, they didn't
absolutely
give you a
not.
bag
No,
full of.
no.
Did you get back on the Rick Simpson?
They don't. Oh, absolutely. Gobbled it
soon
up
as
as
you
soon
got
as I
there?
got there. No, right. As soon as I got in that truck, I gobbled up my gram of Rick Simpson oil. Darn right, because because I wasn't sure yet what was going on, but I gobbled that up. Went back to the hotel room. The only thing they gave me was steroids. Right? Because of the swelling of my head, because it was a little owie. Okay. That was the worst part of it, really. And so, so went back to the hotel and finally got to smoke that joint. And it was relief. It really was. And it helps, right? It really does. And then of course, I was a little nauseous, so it helps with the nauseousness. So then the next day, that was it. We headed back to Lethbridge. And of course, I still had the staples in my head, little owie in the morning. Once I got my steroids in me and it made my head feel a little better. 4 days later, I was totally off of the steroids. 5 days later, I was back in the gym. 2 weeks later, I was throwing out the husband. I was driving in my car. They never took my license.
So what triggered you to throw the husband out? Because now
he wasn't there for me.
He wasn't there for you, and then you realized it.
He just wasn't there for me. The day I got to the hospital, I felt icky, as as a woman, you do. So I wanted a bath. So I went upstairs and I had a bath, and because of the playing around with my brain.
Bath you.
No. I had.
What a terrible guy.
No, he didn't. And I had such a hot bath. I had the water on steaming hot because I didn't realize it was that hot.
Right.
Jumped in there, pretty much scalded my entire body, fell asleep, which I always do. I love my baths. I won't drown. But
I won't.
You put
I
bath
never-
bomb in there? CBD
Always.
or something?
And I slept for about an hour.
CBD bath
Yeah,
bomb
I
in
do.
there.
I do. And I woke up about an hour later, and then so I yelled at him. I said, "Scott, come upstairs and
Right.
stand there while I get out of the tub."
tell
And
me.
he did.
Okay.
But he forgot to grab me when I fainted and smashed my head into the counter.
Oh my
I went
goodness.
into convulsions, and then my mom and my son could hear, and we're running up the stairs. I'm like, "Don't come in, I'm naked," right?
Oh,
That's what I was worried
yeah.
about. And then my husband would just want to take me back to the hospital. I'm like, "No, shithead, if you would have caught me, spotted me like I asked you, I wouldn't have fallen. Like I just had surgery 26 hours ago. Hello?" I mean, just like a
Basically, he
cigarette.
wasn't a man anymore.
He wasn't a man. I hate to
It
say
was over.
that.
At that point, it was like, this
I
guy's not a man.
realized, like, you know, I'm fighting for my life now,
Right.
and my partner.
The least you could have did is keep me safe.
My partner can't do that.
Right.
So
He
and
can't
then
even keep you
no,
safe.
no, and then I would get up
Who
at
knows
5 in
what
the
else he
morning,
can't do.
right? Because I'd get up in the morning because my head would be like, oh, in pain, and so that I'd be pounding on the floor trying to get him up, and he wouldn't get up with me. So my mom would get up with me, and she lived in Toronto. She flew all the way to Alberta to be
Is
with
that
me.
why you live in Toronto now?
Yes.
To be closer
Yes,
to family
Yes.
and stuff? Okay.
I have to be. Nobody's out there for me, right? So I had to come where my family
Nobody's
is.
out there for any
Nobody
of us,
was out
Sheriann.
there,
The sooner
no.
we all realize
But you know
that.
what? It made me a stronger person. And like I said, so like everybody at Safeway across the street from me at the grocery store knew I had brain cancer.
Right.
So they were really cool. So they, didn't kick me out when they seen this strange girl stumbling around the store reading the cans. Because that's what they don't offer you when you get sick like that. They don't offer
Right.
you any rehab.
So there is
Absolutely
some
nothing.
cognitive issues that happen
Yes.
once you have something removed from your brain.
Yes. So that's why they didn't get they only got 97% of my tumor out because there was 3% that was too close that would have probably
Motor
I would've-
functions or
Yes, my
something.
math, my sight, and my short-term memory.
Yeah, we didn't want
yes,
that.
was affected. So that's why they had to leave that 3%. But that was cool, man. I was really happy that they got the 97%. So because I was so confident that 3% the cannabis had already gotten. So I had my surgery on October 3rd, 2017. I did all my little rehab back in the gym. Actually, I was kicking ass in the gym. I was like top 10. So people are like, really?
What
You
year
got-
was this?
You got brain cancer?
What
Yeah,
year?
2017.
Okay,
So then
2017.
January 4th, 2018, I drove up to Calgary Foothills Hospital to get my results. No, actually, we didn't drive up. I got it from my family doctor. That's right.
Got your results.
Got my results
When
in
was this?
on January 5th. My
2001.
18.
Okay.
So
1 year later.
No. 3 months.
Oh.
Because I had my surgery on October 5th.
Yeah.
And then I got my results on January 5th. So
Okay.
was that 3 months?
Yeah, 3
okay.
months.
Well, 3 months. So anyway, my family doctor called me up the day prior. And I thought that was kind of strange because he's never done that before. So I kind of saw that as a good sign. But I don't like to jinx myself. So I didn't tell my husband. Right? Just like
You're not with him anymore.
No, I still just
you
I
still
still lived in
communicate
the
with
same
him.
house
Okay,
until
okay.
I got
Don't
the
tell
results.
him
And then
anything. He didn't
and
deserve
then I got in
nothing.
my car and I headed Toronto. So so finally I said to my doctor, like he started just talking about other stuff, and like here I am sitting there like wanting to know the results. So I'm like, okay, Dr. Smith, seriously, what's my results?
Right.
And he gets out a piece of paper and a pen and a pad of paper.
Cancer negative.
And he goes, okay, what the hell was it you did again? And I go, what is the result? He goes, your
cancer-free.
tumor's, I'll never be cancer free, but my tumor was gone. He goes, that 3% is gone. He goes, the cannabis worked, and I started to swear at him. I go, I haven't told you, right? Because he told me not to do it. Like that doctor told me not
Told
to.
you not to do it.
Let's
He
out
said-
him.
He told me don't waste your money. But up in Foothills
this
Hospital,
doctor?
they
We don't want anybody going to see this doctor.
No, well, he
He's a
knows
death
now.
sentence.
He knows now. Dr.
Oh,
Smith
okay.
knows now. Like,
Dr.
seriously.
Smith, what a name.
Yes. Well, he
I
was
guess
from.
we'll never know who Dr.
Yes.
Smith. There's probably a million of them.
Yes. But now he knows, and so that 3% was gone, and it's been 15 MRIs since, and I'm been able to keep it out, but I still do a gram of Rick Simpson oil every day, and I tell everybody to do so. And the reason why is when I did the Rick Simpson oil, okay, so I did that, and what I did is
Would I be a nicer person if I did a gram every day?
No, you should do a gram every day.
Okay, I will.
I mean, I do a gram every day,
It's
but I don't
good
think I
for your
could
health.
handle
It
it.
is good for
You
my
could.
health.
Oh, you could.
I mean, listen, if I have a proper beverage,
Yes.
and then maybe
You mean proper, the beverage?
Yeah, the proper beverage,
yeah.
right? And then maybe a rosin gummy. That's
Yeah.
only 15 milligrams.
That's too much for
And
you.
then I get those from Sticky Nugs.
Okay. Yep.
I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know if I
Yeah,
can
he's
take
not
a
actually,
full-
yeah.
I'll start
a full
slow.
gram,
Just
like-
start
15, 20
Yeah,
milligrams
yeah.
and
Low
get
and
it
slow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then you gradually get it up there.
Right.
I know some older people that take it and just love it. Like, it takes them a while to get it, but when you think about it, I mean, I've never done any of these radiation or chemo pills. I've never done
Right.
any of that stuff. Like I said, I refuse. to do that
So
stuff.
still to this day, you've never done
No,
any of the
absolutely
traditional.
not. Nope, still got my hair. I refused to do it. And they told me if I didn't do chemo or radiation, I'd be dead in 2 years.
How do you get your Rick Simpson oil?
So
Compassion.
yes,
plays,
at
or-
first
let's.
at first I did a GoFundMe page, and
Oh,
I
that's
was
nice.
I was so lucky that I had Miss Vicky Cornell, Chris Cornell's wife, found me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Chris Cornell fan, and she found me. And she donated $1,000 to me,
Wow.
which was my dosage that actually killed that 3%. So me and Vicky Cornell are still friends to this day.
Wow.
And I had people like Peter Frampton step up, Jim Belushi, several
Nice.
people who are into the cannabis industry that are celebrities. Montel Williams was
Oh,
very
wow.
upset when Instagram deleted my account. He wants to get me on he has his own show.
Yeah.
He really wants to get me on there and to help promote it as well, because he knows it works as well, because
Yep.
he uses cannabis
For
to
MS.
heal him. Yes.
Yeah.
So we just need to get it out there. There's several of us. Like I have two girlfriends, one who also has when you have this type of brain cancer that I have, they say until it kills us, we'll have it. Okay. Even though I feel fine, all of my tests, I'm above average on every single test. I'm like a 35-year-old body, and I have terminal brain cancer. So that's why I just laugh. Like everybody goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Why you feel sorry for me? Do way better than you're doing." Like I might have brain cancer, but I'm way healthier than you, and that's what I tell people, because I am. I go to all these. I know the Terry Fox's family. Like I know it's Terry Fox's uncle and his nieces and all that, because I lived in Lethbridge and they live in Lethbridge. So they kind of took me under the wing, and I kind of felt a little nervous telling Terry that I do cannabis, but he's like all for it. They support me in the cannabis, like taking the cannabis to fight my
Well, now
cancer.
it's legal. It wasn't legal when you started. So now we have more data and we have more stories like your own
Yes.
personal experiences
Yes.
that we can start to really, really create some changes here
And
and
we
help
do.
people.
Yes.
Because, I mean, we can talk about it all we want,
Yes.
but we needed legalization.
Absolutely.
So
And
we could
yes.
get the science
Yes.
and we could get the data
Yes.
to back this up.
And we need to make people more educated on it. For example, with Rick Simpson oil, I'm going to bring this up because it is the RSO.
You bring up
RSO
whatever you
that's
need.
out on the market. I have friends who have cancer who are using that. It's not strong enough. You have to have your THC has to be 75% and over to kill
75%
cancer.
and over.
The RSO that's on the market is only 69%. It will not kill cancer. It is only recreational. Now, somebody on Instagram, a good friend of mine, that is in the field as well. I brought that up on a post that one of the dispensaries had mentioned, and one of their customers was using it for cancer, and I brought it to their attention that should only be used for recreational, because it is a
Well, there's so many
wonderful-
fakers.
It is such a great product for
So
recreational.
it's a
and that,
wellness at that level. That's not going to
That's
cure anything
absolutely
or help
not.
it. Everything.
No,
Absolutely
But you
not.
said
I would
it's a-
say that it's not Rick Simpson oil.
It's not Rick Simpson
It's not
oil.
RSO.
It's not,
So
and
if you're
that's
saying
and-
it's RSO and it's underneath
Absolutely.
the requirements that Rick Simpson
Absolutely.
set, then
Thank
you
you.
are fraudulent.
Thank you. And I brought it up to the people who make it, and they told me that's exactly the reason.
Well, we need
why
to out him.
it's
Who is
RSO.
it? Who made it? Who is making it?
I'm not going to say, but
Why?
it's out
Are you
there.
scared?
No.
They're killing people.
No, they know. They
They're
know.
killing people.
They know who I'm talking
Because
about.
think
Yes,
about
they
it.
are.
They're
They are.
killing people.
They are, and
Because
they know
if
that.
you don't know,
Yes.
then you say,
Yes.
"Oh, I'm
Yes.
getting the real thing."
Yes.
It's not the real
Yes.
thing.
Yes, and I've had to educate.
We're
people.
gonna out them.
Yes. Yes. And it's out there. It's on the market, and it's not strong enough. And
Yeah.
people, it's Rick Simpson oil or RSO. I actually own the.
Okay,
I
listen,
own
hold
the
on.
hashtag RSO
How does
fighter.
Rick
I
Simpson?
own that. And
He cannot
yes.
be behind that brand.
He's not.
So then that means they're stealing his name.
Yes, and that's why
That's
they're-
even worse.
Yes, yes, yes. And I brought this up on this post, and these two people are no longer speaking to me. So
Who cares? They're killing people.
cares?
And that's
They're
actually
killing
yes, that's
people.
what some really good people in the business told me too. There's that you just stick to what you believe in, and then that's what I'm doing. And I'm just educating people that no, your Rick Simpson oil has to be over.
That's why I suggest you make it
75%.
yourself.
Or yes, absolutely, and get it tested. Lots of people can test your oils and make it yourself. It's way cheaper.
What's
You
the
can-
difference between Rick Simpson oil and Charlotte's Web?
Well, it's pretty much the same.
Is
It's
it?
just the names
Charlotte's Web
are
is a strain of
changed.
cannabis.
Yes.
which
Yes.
you can make RSO
Yes.
from.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But
a lot
not
of-
really because it's more CBD. So
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It
Which
is.
they gave babies,
Yes.
weed the people
Yes,
and all that
weed
sort
the
of break-
people,
yeah.
absolutely the same sort of thing. But also they changed the name also because Rick Simpson
Right.
is affiliated. People just start thinking breaking the law and everything, and I mean that's just like why they went after Rick, right? And then the whole thing is it's a government thing. The government knows that cannabis can cure so many things, and that's why we went to, like, I did 2 interviews with Ainsley out in Lethbridge, and now she actually works for CTV in Winnipeg. And she went to Health Canada several times, and they kept saying, we'll get back to you, why it's not legal, why Rick Simpson oil is not legal in Canada yet, and that's why it's because of the ibuprofen, right? But it's easy to get. So
I
make
think-
it yourself and cure your cancer.
I think if anything, like while we're talking about this and we're sharing your journey and stuff, it's got to give people hope.
There's lots
Cancer
of I
gives
get
people. I mean,
Absolutely.
cannabis gives people
Yes.
hope.
Yeah, it gave me
like
hope.
I know when I'm thinking, like with anxiety and
Yep.
depression and
Yep.
menopause,
Absolutely.
and there's women with in vitro. We have
Yes.
people come here with suppositories.
Yep.
It might not cure you, but it's helping. It's
prolongs
relieving.
your
It's
life.
prolonged,
That's
and
what
it gives you some
yes.
hope.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm really careful to say, that it's not a cure, but to me it kind of is.
Well,
but
yeah.
it's prolonged my life already by 2 years. They
Yeah.
said I'd be dead, and I keep walking in the hospitals, and they're like, "Why do you look so good?" And I always get myself in trouble. I think that's why they don't want me to go.
it could
Princess
have
Margaret,
spread.
'cause-
It could have went in your lungs.
Yeah,
It could have did so many
absolutely.
things. So you know.
Absolutely.
And look at all the positive changes you've made, which I hear lots of people being, like, a death in the family or some catastrophic event, then they changes their whole trajectory of their
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
Cancer diagnosis, the brain tumor,
Yes.
changed everything about your life.
everything. Changed my entire life.
And like, are you
everything?
so you would say, are you living your best life now?
Living, I'm like had the best 4 years of my freaking life.
Other than those,
Honest
two.
to God.
Okay, so COVID. How do you feel about them shutting us down, keeping us in our room?
I'm tired of it now. It's
Okay.
over. We got to learn to live with it. We got to move on. Like, I believe there is COVID. I believe I had COVID pre-COVID.
Jackie the algorithm.
And I do believe we just got to live
You
with
have to
it,
go down that
right?
route.
You stay healthy, just like in any other health ailment that you have. As long as you're healthy, you're eating good, you know what I mean? And you know what? Don't always believe what doctors say. If I would have believed what doctors said and they pushed and they pushed and they pushed, I fired Dr. Mason.
You
at
know your
Princess
body
Margaret.
better than anybody.
anyone, exactly. Like you're saying,
Absolutely.
you were smelling things, you're having
Absolutely.
migraines,
I
you're hearing
knew.
things.
I
You
knew.
know yourself better than any
Absolutely.
professional.
Absolutely. And when I went into Dr. Mason at Princess Margaret Hospital, he's the neurologist there. 4 times. Okay, so now I got no tumor left in my brain. Okay, so this is the rule. As long as I have no tumor in the brain, I live longer. So no tumor in my brain, Dr. Mason. Well, you know you're dying. You know you're dying.
They actually
You know
say
you're
that
dying.
to you.
4 times. He said it to
Everybody's
me.
dying.
4
We're
times.
all dying every
4
day.
times in my
Tomorrow's-
first interview. So you know what I did? I went home and I laid in the bed. I'm like, does he know something I don't know? Like, I feel really good. So I laid in the bed and I literally, for the first time since I was diagnosed with brain cancer, I got depressed. So then I got
that's
more.
not good.
I'm
Then I got more
sorry.
depressed because I had to fire the arsehole.
Fuck.
So I phoned the hospital and I said, "Look, I was so positive, I'm doing so good until I met Dr. Mason." She goes, "You're not the only one, honey." I go,
Right.
"Oh, so nobody likes him." Okay. She goes, "Just keep coming here. We'll get you to go see the radiologist, and she'll give you the results." And
Oh,
so
they
every
want you
time
to
I
keep
go
coming
there,
to the death house.
I just go there and she goes, "Keep doing the cannabis." We do the high five. Right. This is this is my radiologist, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like wanting to nuke my brain and make money, Dr.
Right.
Mason, they make $5,000 every time they prescribe to have somebody to have radiation or chemo.
Wow.
That doctor makes a $5,000
Right.
bonus. And when I said to him, I go, "You ain't gonna make your $5,000 bonus off this girl." Right? So yeah, no chemo or radiation for this girl. No.
He wanted to spend that money when he was at his cottage, and you got in the
Darn
way.
right, darn right.
You got
And
in the way.
Then I started, and then you know what? I just do all my research. So that's what I tell everybody. I actually have people that actually, like they say their wife or whatever. I had this one gentleman that phoned me and said, "You know what? I grow my own cannabis, and I know this Rick Simpson works. My wife now has brain cancer. I need you to help me convince her." Just talk to her.
I get those.
And I
get a
do it
lot
all
of
the
that.
time,
Just
like you.
convince-
And I do
yeah.
it all the time, but I don't like push it on them. I just say, "This is how I feel. This is what I did."
What do you have to lose?
Absolutely. And they go, "Really? You feel that great?" And I go, "Yeah." Then they go, "Okay, well, now I'm afraid of my doctor." I go, "Why?"
'Cause
He
he's a liar.
works for you.
Right.
You don't owe
Yeah, I
him
get afraid to
nothing.
tell the doctor that I'm not
You
taking the
kidding?
meds and I'm using the
Oh God, no,
things.
not me, man. I go in there and then I have doctors call me and ask me now on things, right?
You
Because
probably
they're-
know more than
Well,
as an
they don't.
advocate, right?
Most doctors only have a half an hour on any nutrition, never mind cannabis. They have no idea. So they can't tell any patients anything about cannabis because they really don't know. In
Well, there's been no
fairness to them.
research because
But
it's been illegal.
Absolutely. But there's been so many doctors who have actually quit since legalization, and they're going on to the other side now. And
I have a lot of
Why?
physician friends that are
because
in
they
the
want people
cannabis.
to do alternative
Are they really
medicine.
trying to help people, or is they're sucking money now?
Well,
from
no, I
the-
believe there actually is some really
Okay.
good doctors that do believe in it, but couldn't practice it
Right.
before, but now actually can. Down in
We should push
California-
those doctors forward.
California, they
Yes,
prescribe
we
Rick
should.
Simpson oil. They actually do in California. And that's what we do need to do. And that's why we need to get it out there, right?
Right.
And we do. Like, it is out there, but we need to get it more out there. Like, there's been studies. Like, I've been in Weed Magazine. I've been in several magazines. I've done, people have done studies on me. Like, I said,
bet.
go for it. I will not let the hospitals know. They've asked to have my brain to do studies. I said, absolutely not, because I don't feel they've helped me. So why should I let them do studies on my brain when I have funded and
Right.
had other people fund, my
Right.
medicine? So basically, no, after about a year, it's just the cannabis community across the world has just
Do you
sent
travel
me oil.
anywhere? Because how do
No,
you get-
but I'd like to. That's
Okay.
I need to. This is I need to get some sort of. I need to get out there more. I mean, I do have 15,000 followers, not as many as you, but this has been 4 years. I'm working on it. I'm working on
Yeah.
it. If Instagram would stop shutting us down,
Yeah, that's-
I
that
mean,
Instagram.
Facebook is trying now too. So I don't talk about cannabis whatsoever on Facebook, mainly on Instagram. Twitter is my biggest platform,
Right.
believe it or not, and it's a better platform. I really believe.
So
it's-
how do people find you if they want to, if they're just about to go through this, or they're going through it, or they know someone there? How do they contact you?
Just type my name in. You'll find me all over social media. Sheriann Baker.
It's Sheriann Baker
Yep,
everywhere.
and I'll contact you back. Whatever.
because I'm sure people are going to want to know how to
Yes.
make their own Rick
Yes.
Simpson oil,
Yep.
or where do they get,
Yep.
or if they need compassionate care, like
Yes.
how do they?
I can.
There's no one
No,
there is.
I can help them.
No central.
No, there's
place
not.
for
But
all
I
that.
have all those contacts, and I can help you find it wherever you are, and anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. We have people over in, even like in London, that will actually go into hospitals to terminal patients and just pretend they know you and
Slip
just
them something.
slip them a pill and walk right out. Because over there, like, it's very, like, even down
like that.
even in Texas, like, I did a podcast with a lady in Texas, and apparently you even smoke cannabis in Texas, you're looked down at. Like, she's like, and it's terrible. It's
Yeah, you might go to
terrible.
jail for 78 years
Right?
for a joint.
Isn't that terrible?
Texas.
Like, I'm for that too. Like, I support all that. Like, people trying to help these people that are living in jail for smoking a joint that have spent 20 years. Like,
Right.
that, we need to help those sort of people too. We just need to end the stigma, and we need to. I mean, these pills that they're feeding us, they're not doing anything. They're making it worse. They're making.
Well, that's the point of them.
Yeah, it plants over pills, for sure.
I purposely didn't take any pills today just for you, so I could.
Aw, you're so awesome. High five.
Sorry.
good.
Thank you for joining us, Derek.
you
Did
for
you have
having me.
anything? That was a great. I mean, that's a great story. I thought I'd be crying and wallowing away, and she's inspirational, and that's motivational,
cry.
and it's an
What's the point?
inspiring
Why
story.
would you cry? She's not
Because
dying.
when people
Yeah.
talk about
She's
cancer,
not dying. It's a
exact-
celebration.
That's exactly how I look at it, right?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I really liked this. Was an inspiring story, and I think we
And I
need
want
to
to
share
give people
more of them.
hope. Because you know what, I'll be
Definitely.
honest with you, up until I got brain cancer, when I heard my friends get cancer, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Now it's like, are you kidding me? I still live my life even more to the fullest. Like, and people are like, when they find out I have brain cancer, like, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. Like, I've even had people say, prove it. It's like, really? You want to see? You want to feel my really deformed head? I can, you want to talk to my doctors? Knock yourself out. I'm not hiding anything. I'm like, just talking about it.
We're not hiding anything on the
No,
green room
no.
either.
Yeah, it needs to be talked about, and more people need to learn about it because it is saving life.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you
you.
for that.
Thanks for coming to Sticky
Thanks
Nugs.
for having me, guys.
Yes, thanks
for
so
telling
much
your
for
story.
that. That was
Thanks.
really inspirational story. Thank you so much, Sheriann, for joining us on the Green Room at Sticky Nubs Live, Fort York location, Toronto, Ontario. Derek, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Well, we are live from Sticky Nugs, one of the most beautiful of dispensaries I've seen. And we're happy to be guests here at Sticky Nugs.
Yeah, we're kicking off our residency.
Thanks so much for having me, and we are so happy to have you guys here and be a part of this amazing journey. This is a family-run business, so I would say about maybe 15 to 20 years ago, maybe when I was a kid, my dad had this amazing, passionate idea of getting into the cannabis industry. It was so funny. I remember going into the garage and seeing him with this grid paper and had it all written out, and even the name and everything. And you always think, you know what? Hopefully one day cannabis can get to that point, but you never know, right? And I thought, you know what? why not get into the family business and run this dream together? Because I just have such a passion about cannabis as well.
Yeah,
Already started, right?
let's kick this
Get
up.
the ball rolling.
Yeah. Thanks again for joining us in the green room.
Bye.